So I was recently having a Zoom call with a couple, and the wife was expressing that she's really excited to get moved to Idaho, but has no idea what this actually looks like to sell their house, buy another house in a different state, and then move across the country to get to Idaho. And I realized, yeah, that was probably a video I should have done 3 years ago, and I apologize that I haven't, but better late than never. So today we're talking about the 10 steps it takes to get moved to Idaho from out of state. Let's go. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Living Life in North Idaho. My name is Trent, and I've been in this area for 32 years. If you are interested in knowing more about what it is like eating, working, playing, and buying real estate here in Idaho, this is the channel for you. Go ahead and tap the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so every time I come out with a new video, you're getting notified. And I'm serious when I say this. Every day we have people just like you that have been watching these videos and they're serious about getting moved to Idaho, or they just need some information that maybe I haven't talked about yet in my videos to decide if Idaho is the right place for them. So this is you. Go ahead and reach out at the email address or the phone number listed below. There's also a website if you want to go and see what the inventory is like, what kind of homes are on the market and the price. We absolutely love helping people get moved to this area, and that's why we're here. So reach out, day, nights, weekends, it does not matter. All right, guys, so diving in, the 10 steps it takes to get moved to Idaho. These are actually pretty easy, but if you've never gone through this process, I could see where this would get really confusing and feel really overwhelming. And honestly, even when you know all of the steps, it's a hurdle. And so I want to help break this down as easy as possible and give you the steps that'll make this a much easier process. So the first one is watch these videos and then start writing out a pros and cons list about moving versus staying. I am a firm believer that in really big life decisions, your head, your heart, and your gut should all be in line. And if you don't have a breakdown that's visual right in front of you of the pros and cons, it's really hard to gauge, because in your mind, you're going to be like, oh, no, this makes a lot of sense. And this solves the problems that we're having or some of the insecurities that we're experiencing. But maybe your heart isn't being listened to, and you have friends and family that you're going to be leaving behind. And you might not feel so good once you do that if you didn't check in with yourself.
Tell them hi, I miss everyone.
Also, gut, right? Gut, I'm a firm believer that your gut can tell you things that are beyond just our understanding. I think that if you know how to listen to your gut, it can be a really good thing. And that can also tell you if this is going to be a bad decision or not.
You got to listen to your gut. I think our guts are very wise.
And so once you do that, once you watch some more of these videos, which at the end, there will be a couple listed, you can always go to my channel. There's over 120 videos on moving to this area, what it's like living here, and write out that list. And then if you decide that, yeah, no, this is lining up, this makes sense, you're going to go to step 2. So step 2, now that you have your pros and cons list and you decided, yep, we want to look at moving to Idaho, you're going to reach out and connect with somebody who can help you with these 3 things.
Can you help me? Help me!
The first one is getting on the MLS. You can set up a home search. The second thing is connecting with a local lender. And the third thing is they can show you homes when you come to visit. Now, yes, we do offer all of that, of course, but you don't have to use us. And not everybody wants to use us. Not everybody's going to be a good fit. We're not going to connect with everyone. And that's okay. But you want to have somebody that knows the area well, is doing this full time, and is looking out for your best interest and not their own. You're going to have questions throughout the process, and you want to be able to feel like you can get a hold of that person and rely on the information that they're telling you. There's nothing worse than being in the middle of a transaction and then realize, oh boy, we didn't really do our research here, and I don't know if we can trust this guy. That's not a good feeling. So
buyer's remorse?
What? No!
Make sure that you find the right person that gives you that gut feeling that, yep, this person has our backs and they're going to take care of us. And even if you are a ways out, getting on the MLS is going to be a lot better than searching on the third-party websites like Realtor or Zillow. They're just not accurate here in Idaho because we're a non-disclosure state. So the pricing might be wrong. You might be looking at a property that closed 3 weeks ago because they're always delayed. And so being on the MLS is going to be the most accurate information you can get when it comes to properties that are listed right now. Step 3, get pre-qualified and start favoriting your homes on the MLS. Now, I know some of you might go, gosh, get pre-qualified. I might be a ways out. Right. You don't necessarily have to do the full process yet. You don't have to run your credit, but at least give enough of the information or enough of the documents that lender can say, yeah, no, you're pre-qualified for this much based on this information. Don't hold back information. Definitely make sure you're giving them accurate information. You don't want to find yourself in a bad spot once you've already made an offer and, oh, actually, we can't get you qualified. And again, even if you're going to use all cash or mostly cash, still just have that conversation with that lender. And when you're favoriting homes on the MLS, what you're doing is you're letting your realtor know that these are the types of properties that I like.
I want that.
Now, if you're a ways out, the chances that those are still going to be available for you when you get here to buy, probably pretty limited, but at least you know what the market looks like, how much values are, if prices are going up or down, and it's really giving your realtor a better idea. So maybe there's a home that's not quite on the market yet, or they're hearing that it might come on the market and they know that, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, they really like this type of house. Now they can send that your way. So it really is helpful. It's definitely not a waste of time. Step 4, at 1 to 2 months out from the time of making an offer, go and start looking at homes. Now you might be saying to yourself, well, Trent, how am I going to view homes? I don't live there. It's a great question.
Great question.
So because you did your research and you chose to work with a realtor who's going to work hard for you, you can pick out a home that you're serious about, and they will go out and they will Zoom call with you so you can walk through with them as they got you on the phone, or they can record it for you. They can bring out measuring tapes and measure it so that you have accurate dimensions and get a really good idea of what that home looks like. Now, this doesn't mean that you are going to buy it without seeing it. This just means that you can better pick out the homes that you're serious about for when you get up here and start looking at homes to make an offer. Now, step 5, and this one's important and oftentimes gets overlooked, start getting your things in order and get your house listed if applicable. Now, a lot of people, they think, okay, well, yeah, no, I'm gonna get a house under contract and then I'll figure out the new job and then I'll figure out what I'm supposed to be doing up there.
That was not smart.
Don't do that. Start looking at what jobs are available. If you need to keep working, you need to get your job changed over. If you need to list your home, start interviewing those listing agents now. And that's also something we can help with. If you don't know any good listing agents, we can look at somebody within our brokerage.
We got your back.
And what that does is we will interview them, make sure that they're going to be a good fit for you. And when we do that, that means that they're going to be working a lot closer with us to make sure everything's lining up so that when you do sell your house, you don't have a gap and you're living in a motel with all your stuff in a truck for 2 weeks because, oh, well, the listing agent didn't tell us that the closing got moved up. These things can happen, and we've never had that happen when it's somebody that's within our brokerage. But of course, if you know somebody and you trust them, just go with them. You don't necessarily have to have your home sold in order to get a home under contract. You can have a contingency where it's saying basically, once my house sells, then I will buy your house. But if my house doesn't sell, I'm not going to buy your house. Now, if it's a home that just hit the market and it's a good deal, it's probably not going to happen. But right now we're seeing homes that are sitting on the market for longer than they have in the last few years. And so your chances of making that work are a lot higher. You can also do rent back. So say the offer that you made on the house you really wanted fell through, but your house is now under contract. You can talk to your listing agent about doing rent back, which means you sell your home and then you establish that for either 30, 60, or 90 days, I'm going to rent this home back from you at a set amount price. And some buyers will just let you stay just because they want to get into that house. That's what we were seeing a lot over the last few years. Maybe not necessarily happening as much right now, but that is an option. And this is the step also where you should start contacting moving companies and getting quotes to see what it looks like, who's available to be able to move all your stuff to Idaho. Now, step 6, this is where things start getting really exciting. You're going to make an offer on a property and get it under contract. Now, you don't have to be here. Like I said, you don't have to be here to make that happen.
You can do it online.
And some of you might go, well, I'm not buying a house that I've never seen before. I totally understand. You have 5 days from the time the offer is accepted to get the inspection done. So you have 5 days to get here, to go through the house. And once the inspection is done, say you just don't like it. You're like, no, not feeling this. I think a dead body was here once.
Yes, I sense his spirits.
I'm just kidding. But, sometimes we just go off of, just not the right fit. Anything that shows up on the inspection report, you can then cancel your offer. You can withdraw your offer. This is a very common practice, and it doesn't have to be anything major, and you still will get all of your earnest money back. So you do have that time period. Now, if you don't want to do it that way, you don't have to. Just plan a trip with your agent. Get up here, start looking at the homes that you've chosen as the ones that you're serious about. And then if you find the right one, that's how you can make an offer. Doesn't always work out though. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes the homes that you've been liking, you got to plan out that trip. It's a month out. And the homes that you were really serious about maybe are no longer on the market. So that's where that option comes in, where you can have your agent go out there, do a video, do the measurements, you make the offer, and then you still have that time to be able to get out of it if it's not the right one. And once you're under contract, this is when you're going to contact your lender and let them know, hey, we're under contract. I would like to lock in my rates. You cannot lock in your interest rate until you have something under contract. You don't have to lock them in the day that you get under contract. But it is a coin toss. Sometimes you'll hear in the news, oh, rates are supposed to drop. Let's hold off. And then they come back and they raise the interest rates. And you just need to know that that can happen. And if it goes up and you no longer qualify, that can be a totally big mess. So to me, it's better to just get them locked in. I don't think they're going to fluctuate that much. And when they do drop, you can always refinance as long as the loan to value is there.
That is a calculation, a pure and objective calculation.
And depending on how this is structured, you're going to have from the time the offer is accepted, 30 to 45 days until everything closes. Step 7, inspections, appraisals, disclosures, handyman. Oh my, this is when things start to get really busy because your lender, if you're getting financing, is going to start asking you for all of these documents. Even if you've already given them all the documents, they're going to want the updated documents. You're going to have a bunch of disclosures that are coming in the mail or through email from your lender, from the title and escrow company. And they're going to want you to read through all of them and sign that you read them. You're going to have a lot of stuff flying at you. And you might even hit a moment where you go, wait, is this really worth it? It is.
Trust the process.
It's just the process of buying a home. And if you're working with the right agent, they're going to be able to walk you through this stuff and make sure that any questions that you have are being answered. Trust me, after the 2008 crash, a lot of stuff had to come above surface, right? Come above, had to become more transparent is what I'm trying to say. So there's not going to be hidden fees. There's not going to be disclosures you're signing and you don't know what they mean. They really helped clarify all of this stuff to make sure that you know exactly what you are signing. And then any repairs that are needed, you're going to want to have a handyman come in and get those done before you move there. And sometimes you have to have it done before you can even get the loan, because some loans have certain specifications saying that, hey, you can't have chipping paint. You need a handrail here in order to get the loan to close. And if you have a good realtor, which you do because you called us, they're going to negotiate that and sometimes can get the price down. Now, again, if it's a good price and the home hasn't been listed very long, that's going to be a little bit tougher, but you can always fight for it. And just know too, the sellers can back out. So don't have them push too hard, but it doesn't hurt to ask. Now, step 8, if everything hasn't fallen apart yet, start packing. You'll typically know within about 2 weeks if the deal is going to fall apart. And deals do fall apart. It's just part of the real estate process, but it's not the end of the world. And it's better to have it fall apart sooner rather than later. We actually, buying this house that I'm in now, we got to 2 days before closing before the lender was like, oh yeah, shoot, we can't get you that loan we told you we could.
What?
Luckily, we were buying it from our friends across the street and we were allowed to extend it another 45 days, but that's pretty rare to be able to have happen. And especially if you're trying to sell your home in a different state, you want to avoid that. But once you're past the appraisal period, once you're past the inspection period, typically you are good to go. You don't have any worries, but do not go out and finance anything. Do not go open new credit cards account or buy new cars or spend a bunch of money or get a loan from somebody or give a loan. Just kind of hit the pause button on all your financials until that property closes, because that is the thing that usually screws it up, is because somebody forgot to tell you, hey, don't go do these things. And if you're getting a loan, the lender's going to look at that at the final moments and see, oh, there's a new account, and it can screw everything up. So don't do that. Step 9, this is a step that a lot of people forget, but just as important. Discontinue all of your cable services, your utilities, get your mail forwarded, change your insurance, do all of that stuff from the place that you're living to the place that you're moving to. It really stinks to move into a place and go, oh my gosh, we forgot to get the cable installed. We have no internet for a few days. You're going to remember how bored not having internet is. So
Where is the internet?
it's just a really good idea. Get all that stuff changed over. And step 10, if applicable, sign for the sale of your home, and you're going to remotely sign for the purchase of your home here. Now, if everything's set up right, you should be signing down there and then doing remote signing for your home up here. Now, it doesn't have to be that way. You can move up here earlier and you can do remote signing for your home down where you live now, and then sign in person for your home here. And congratulations, you just got yourself a home and you're moving to Idaho.
Congratulations.
Now, all of this can feel very overwhelming right up to the last minute, and then you get handed those keys and you realize that your whole life is about to change. And it's really awesome. I'm actually getting emotional because helping people with this, like I've gone through this process a few times, and it's always life-changing. You're moving to, even if it's just a new neighborhood, you're learning or meeting new people, you're making a new life, you got new projects, and it's a really, really exciting thing. So now that you're here, what you're going to be doing, you want to make sure that you get down to the DMV within 90 days, get your license changed, get your registrations changed, make sure that you do that, because that can come with fines if you don't. And then after 6 months of being here, you can then get your hunting and fishing license if you're into that stuff. And make sure people forget about this. When your ultra progressive liberal friends ask you where you're moving to, it is spelled OHIO. Okay, that's where you want them moving to. But guys, those are the 10 super easy steps of getting moved to Idaho. Let me know in the comments if any of this was a surprise, if this still sounds overwhelming. You can always give us a call if you want to have a deeper conversation about what this looks like in case I missed anything. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video, and make sure you give us a call if you are serious about getting moved here. We love helping people get here. And also, here's 2 more videos if you want to check those out, learn more about what it's like living here. Until the next one, I'll see you later.